Before 2017 ends, join the Rapid Response Network in raising $2,000 to support Haitian garment workers fighting exploitation. Every day, when we get dressed, we sport the products of exploitation. Every item of clothing we consume is produced through this process. I say this not to guilt you, but so that we can see a connection between our everyday lives and the lives of persons in another country who, despite working 12 to 16-hour days, cannot afford to survive. Haitian garment workers are paid the lowest wage in the Western Hemisphere, 350 goud, around $5.45 per day. They produce a lot of t-shirts, socks, and activewear, and some familiar brands are Hanes, Gildan, Fruit of the Loom, Levi's, Avia, Gap, Target, and Walmart. Production quotas in factories are set impossibly high. Wage theft is the norm. Factory owners and management do not respect the law and often don't pay the existing minimum wage. Garment workers' wages are often consumed just by the transportation costs of getting to and from work. Most workers live in debt and on the brink of hunger and homelessness. Union members and organizers are constantly harassed and arbitrarily fired for exercising their legal rights. With their backs against the wall, workers are organizing to stand up and fight back against their exploitation. Bataille Ouvrière, or BO, is an independent and autonomous workers' movement fighting for economic, political, and democratic rights throughout Haiti. They organized textile workers and established unions in Port-au-Prince, Carrefour, Ouanamètre, and Caracol. SOTA is the most active textile union affiliated with BO. They're based in the south, in Port-au-Prince and Carrefour. This year, the workers of SOTA led a 3-month mobilization of garment workers throughout the country to fight for an increased minimum wage of 800 goud per day, or $12.40. It all started on Friday, May 19th, when about 4,000 garment workers in Port-au-Prince went on strike and took the streets to demand this increased wage, shutting down dozens of factories in the capital city. Factory owners responded by calling in SOTA-BO, that's their version of the National Police and SWAT team. Workers were shot with rubber bullets and tear gas, because they want a living wage. In the following days, workers from Ouanamètre, Caracol, and Carrefour also walked out and marched to demand 800 goud. Factory owners and the government responded with more repression. On Monday, May 23rd, SOTA-BO police entered the SONAP Industrial Park in Port-au-Prince and began beating workers they thought affiliated with the organizing efforts. This woman was beaten unconscious. She did survive. In other factories, workers continued to face rubber bullets and tear gas. Workers dug their heels in, and this is when they named their campaign Opération Bois Cassé, or Operation Arms Crossed. Many were arrested, hospitalized, and unjustly fired, but they continued on. They did work stoppages, held meetings, handed out leaflets about their fight. More workers joined. Workers turned out in record numbers, unified in their demands. Students, vendors, and neighborhood groups stood in solidarity with workers. In this demonstration, more than 25,000 people filled the streets of Port-au-Prince to demand 800 goud for these garment workers. Finally, at the end of July, the struggle hit a stalemate. President Jovenel Moïse announced his offer of 350 goud. When workers showed up at the SONAP Industrial Park to protest this lame proposition, they were met by the National Police in full force. SOTA-BO was inside and outside SONAP. Their guns were loaded with real bullets, not rubber ones. After 3 months of ongoing struggle, the workers decided to pause, take the 350, regroup, keep organizing and growing. Their fight is long from over and they are fiercely determined. In the wake of these monumental efforts, many union members were arbitrarily and illegally fired for union affiliation and exercising their legal rights. SOTA members from H&H Textiles, CISA, and Palm Apparel factories are still out of work, even after the labor regulatory agency Better Work found all of these firings illegal and said workers should be reinstated. Even after the Ministry of Labor said SOTA members at Quality Sewing Factory were illegally fired, the boss refuses to let them into work, another clear case of union busting. As the holidays approach, these workers and their families are hungry. They face losing their homes as they cannot pay rent. One of the workers from Quality Sewing just had a baby. The spouse of a worker from CISA also just gave birth. They are struggling to raise infants with no wages. In Haiti, public schools are lacking, so private schools are the norm. Without income, workers cannot pay school tuition, so their children are falling behind in school. Workers' lives are being attacked simply because they insist on basic rights, a decent wage that allows them to feed, house, clothe, and educate themselves and their families. Let's raise $2,000 to support SOTA-BO members fighting injustice. Funds will be directly transferred to Haiti to help these workers pay rent, buy food, and to continue their fight. If just 50 people contribute $40 each, we can reach this goal. Please give any amount that you can. Every dollar adds up and carries a major impact. It's likely the best thing you can do with your dollars and your conscience this holiday season. Please stand with garment workers and join the fight against exploitation.